My name's Brittany Brown, and I'm a sports studies major at Reinhardt. So I did my internship at Benchmark Physical Therapy. I did it from January 16th of this year, 2017, to April 27th. I chose physical therapy because I enjoy helping others, but I also like being around sports. So when you put both together, it's physical therapy. So this is kind of my way of giving back to the community and just trying to help others. And rehab is one of the main things that can help others after an injury or if they have a disorder or disease or anything like that. So I chose Benchmark Physical Therapy for many reasons. They weren't actually my first choice. I had another physical therapy place in mind, but I did more research into Benchmark Physical Therapy, and they actually originated in Tennessee, which is one of the places I want to go to grad school, so I know that it will look good on my resume. Also, they have so many locations all over the southeast, so I just know that if I wanted a job or coming out of grad school, I would be able to find a job easily if they see that I've been with Benchmark before. And it kind of goes hand in hand. If there's a lot of locations, there's so many connections that I can have, and those are the main reasons I kind of picked Benchmark over the other place. And no, it wasn't paid, but so how did I get the internship? Honestly, it was plain and simple. I just emailed the lady who's over the students. I was looking at their website to actually contact them, and there was a section that says students, and then it literally gives you the email and just tells you to email the person. And I got a response 2 hours later, and an email from the clinic director saying that she would love to have me follow her. So we emailed back and forth for a day or two just to get everything set up, and that's how I got it. My supervisor, oh man, Krista was the best therapist I could have asked for. She made me fall more in love with physical therapy. My first day, I was so comfortable, and the funny thing is, I actually know her cousin. I grew up with her cousin, so it's kind of a small world, but when I was there, she answered any questions I had, no matter what they were. If it was a stupid question, if it was a silly question, she always had an answer for me. And if she didn't, we would look it up and come to a conclusion. We became very close, and I was very thankful for this because I felt more comfortable with her, and I felt like I could learn better with her. She made me feel like I belonged at Benchmark. It was kind of like a family atmosphere, and they were all so close, but when I first came in, they just had me join them. So she taught me a lot, but was very patient with me because it was a lot of information. It was a lot of new information, but she made me feel comfortable in a very new place. So I'm very thankful for her to be as my supervisor, and I couldn't have really asked for anyone better to follow. So shadowing Krista, I watched her do manual therapy on patients, which is doing like stim and ultrasound and actually like deep tissue massages, working the soft tissue, just kind of loosening the muscles and the tissues up. I also watched her tape patients. I even got to tape patients, and in that picture is one of my co-workers. His name's David, and we were taping him for a congested nose because there is taping for everything. And then there's evaluations, which is the first day that a patient comes in, and you basically do measurements, you find out what happened, and then we develop a plan for what their rehab's going to be. And I became very fond of these because she even let me do measurements. She let me put the measurements in, all the notes. So it was really cool to actually be involved and not just sit there and watch her. I also did daily notes. When you're a therapist, you have to do daily notes to keep everything updated so that you know their process and how much progress they're having. So she let me do the daily notes as well. Also, there's progress notes, which is something you do every 10 visits, and it basically just shows like the progress you're making is exactly what it says. Um, People will either progress well or they don't progress at all, so we have to change our plan. It's just to show the patient that they are getting better and what we're doing is helping them. Also, developing home care plans. This is where the patient does exercises at home. She would let me go online and actually develop the home care plans to give to the patients. And they also get this at a discharge. When we discharge them, we do the same thing as like an evaluation. So, but with a discharge, you get a home care plan because you don't see us anymore. And we also, one thing that I thought was really cool is that we went and did marketing. I never really thought about the marketing side of physical therapy, but I mean, we actually went to doctors' offices, talked to them, we went out to lunches, we had people come in and talk to us during our lunches, and they would bring things to show us. Like there were these wipes that help reduce soreness after someone needles someone. So it was just kind of cool to see that side of things too, rather than just at the clinic. And another thing Krista did, which not every therapist is required to do it, but I do think that it helps a ton, is actually dry needling. It's kind of like acupuncture, but it's a little different, and you hook it up to stem. She actually did it on me, and because I was having migraines, and it helps with migraines, and it actually really did work. So I'm a strong believer in dry needling now. Another thing that I did was I was seen as a technician, which when you're a technician, you open up the clinic, you get everything ready, make sure everything's wiped down, plugged in, ready to go. And then when you close the clinic, you just take out the trash and make sure everything's clean. Wiping and making sure everything is clean is a major thing when you're a tech. You wipe down the tables when the patients leave. You wipe down the equipment because you always want it to be clean. Another thing that techs do is laundry. So we have towels, pillowcases, things like that, and we always have to wash them because we're constantly changing them. And when we're not doing all of that, we are working with patients on exercises. So most patients know what they're doing, but sometimes they'll get lost and confused and don't know exactly what they're doing, so they look to us and we help them out. Another thing is office coordinator. I didn't do this as much, but I did learn, and they just check in the patients. They're the first face you see, so you gotta always be smiling. And they dealt with insurance companies, and let me tell you, insurance companies are not easy to always deal with. So I praise them for that. And scanning in papers, like the notes that we take and the progress notes, they fill out a survey. So they scan in those papers into the therapist's notes. And the main thing that I learned was scheduling. It's color coordinated. So if you're Medicare, you're blue. If you're any other insurance, you're green. If it's pink, there's an evaluation. And there's also notes in there, like reminding you of their copay. If they can be double or tripled, which means that one therapist can see two people at the same time. If they can't see two people at the same time, they can only see them. So scheduling is really organized if you do it correctly, is what I found out. It contributed to sports studies because, I mean, many patients' injuries are related to sports. Also, many things such as marketing and sport administration, even sport history helped me during my internship because even with sport history, I was able to talk to the patients because I knew about stuff. Because, I mean, some of the patients that came in there, they knew a lot about sports. So having that background really helped me. And, of course, sport marketing, that really helped when I went out and did marketing with Krista because I understood it fully. So I think my internship really went well due to all of the classes that I have taken thus far. Okay, my PDP, the professional development project, I did mine on one of my patients. He has Parkinson's disease, and I didn't know much about Parkinson's when I started. So me and Krista thought it would be a good idea for me to focus on him and to, at the end of the whole internship, to have a program for him for home and have a perfect program for physical therapy. So how I started was I did some research, and then basically on Parkinson's disease and how to help my patient get better. I mean, Parkinson's never fully goes away, but if you do physical therapy, it can help ease it a little bit. So making a home exercise program, I looked up different types of exercises that related to Parkinson's, and basically Parkinson's just messes with your central nervous system, so your balance and your strength. So making a home exercise program, I focused on those. Also planning an exercise program for physical therapy, I did that. So we set up obstacle courses. He did the bike. We would throw the ball and have his feet together and see if he could catch it. Just different things like that. But this really impacted the clinic because now we're starting to work to understand other disorders. So like vertigo, understanding that and what could help with that. Just different disorders that people may have when they come into physical therapy so that we understand them better and so that we can actually help them even more. So that is it, and that was my internship.